Good morning. You know, I got this morning and it was like 20 something degrees. And, I wasn't too cold at all. I had this new cover I'd bought at Best Choice up in Hardy, the grocery store, and they had it like for $9.99. So I bought it when I lived there a couple years ago. And I tell you what, that's been better than an electric blanket. I just cuddle up in it. It just gets so warm. I don't know. It's that new stuff they're making. It's like a fleece. You probably know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I was cuddled up in that this morning and didn't want to get out of bed because my fingers were cold. And I said, oh, I got to get out of bed. Sun's shining because it's been raining for a couple of days. But anyway, I'm up. I've had my coffee. I've done my Bible study. Had my pear. My neighbor gave me a pear that her neighbor, when he went to Missouri, harvested some of his friends' pears. Anyway, she gave me 2 pears. And those yellow pears, real crispy and sweet. So I was going to nuke it in the microwave, put a little sugar on it, but this morning it just looked so tempting the way it was. I just sliced it up and ate it. I gave Connor a piece. He loved it too. But Clyde, no, he didn't like no pear. But I only gave him a little piece because I only had 2 pears. And I'm selfish, so I wanted to eat most of it myself. Anyway, they have dog food. They'll just have to do what they do. So yesterday, I had company. Yes, I did. Yesterday it was raining, just one of those rainy days. And I couldn't see through my windows because they're, what do you call that? When condensation gets on your windows and you can't see and it was raining. And I could see an image knock on the door. And in came David and his brother-in-law, Robert, from up in Williford. Yes, they did. They come by. And we visited and had the best time. Only thing, poor David. He loves this coat, I guess, that he always wears. And anyway, it was soaked with rain all the way down to his 2 t-shirts. Now, the man only wears black. And he's got this black hat that is just, like Crocodile Dundee or something like that. But it's just his style, And I just love it. And he's like a son to me. He very special. Him and his wonderful wife Barbara, which I adopted also because I just love her to death. What can I say? But anyway, they came in and they visited and we talked about how it was. He's in town for business here in Little Rock. He comes down every couple of weeks or so, but I just didn't expect him on a really rainy day but we told jokes, and he's telling me about his donkey. He's got this donkey called Jack. And he raises goats. And he has free-range chickens. So he and Barbara and Morgan is their granddaughter they're raising. And so they have a ranch. It's only 24 acres, but it's a sweet, sweet ranch. And he was saying that, Jack's he's buying, whatever those goats go back. Not buy, no, that's sheep, isn't it? What a goat? Not goats. I'm not talking about goats. I'm talking about donkeys. I'm talking about Jack. Jack is a donkey. He's a dark donkey. And he loves to talk. And he talks something like, how do they something like that. Anyway, it's so in the mornings when I lived up there next to them, I lived next door to him. He'd bay every morning he saw his mama, which was Barbara, because she'd feed him, them and the goats and the chickens and everything, and he would just bay at her because he just loved her to death. And that's one thing I really missed is, seeing the chickens out there running around, the goats, and Jack, of course, the lovable donkey. But they really rescued that donkey. When they first got him, he had a collar on, or a harness on his head that had been on there, since he was a little donkey, I guess. And it was so tight. And it had created some sores. And he was constantly rubbing his head. Well, Barbara and David said, we're going to have to get that off because it's going to get infected, right? So they borrow a trailer to put him in because you couldn't get close enough to him to take it off, and it might have hurt because it was in his soul, inside of his head there a little bit in the skin. And so they called a friend over and they got him in there. I mean, they didn't. I think the girl did. Who they got over there, and they got him in there and took it off of him. And I believe that he became a very happy donkey after he realized that he was with Barbara and Morgan and David, because at the time they got him, he hardly had any hair. It was cold that first winter. But she would take apples to him and talk to him, and he looks like a different donkey. Yeah, he could go GQ. You know what I'm saying? As donkeys go. Just a sweetheart. But, and then Robert and David plowed up my garden when I was up there. And they had one, my garden wasn't that big. By the time they took their tractor and the little blades, David he'd just go up one, come back, and that was my garden. But it was because I was out there trying to dig it. And he came to my rescue. And I had a pretty good garden that year. I did. I had, I love green peppers and tomatoes and jalapenos. And it was good. It was very, very good. Anyway, I enjoyed their visit very, very much. They stayed, 4 hours. Good 4 hours. Then they had to go back to Little Rock. They had a customer there that they had to see. But it continued to rain, and then it turned cold last night. So I'm hoping they got home before it got too cold, because it was freezing. I left my water running, because you never know when pipes might freeze. Even though they put, Chris, the handyman I'm always talking about, it's so sweet. He put a copper line in for me and insulated it with heat tapes, I think it was, yes. But anyway, I've survived it. And I'm continuing to work on this Afghan, and I should be doing that right now because I'm just rattling this morning. But it's been a beautiful morning. Can you see over here behind me? That's the sun coming in on all my flowers. I brought my flowers in, and they're just enjoying that sun. That's the east sun, I guess you knew that. But anyway, I'm going to let you go because I'll probably run out of battery as I usually do. And I hope you have a blessed day. Praise God for everything. Be kind to yourself and to everyone else, because we're only on this earth just a very short time, and we want to be good. But anyway, I forgot, you're supposed to subscribe or like if you want to. Of course, that doesn't matter because I'm going to talk in here anyway, as long as YouTube let me. Anyway, have a blessed day from Arkansas, and I'll see you again.